Okay, I got the recording started for our Cobalt main session. Okay, I got the recording started for our Cobalt main session. We got Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. So up here is where you link the schedule for attendance. So we obviously aren't early, and we obviously are not on time, so we would be late. That make sense?
Yeah. Link.
So you link the schedule. Anyways, we'll get to the agenda section. So right now we need to do our document, got our recording. Now we're doing our rules. Lucy, do you want to do timekeeping, video indexing?
Yes, I'll do.
And then what about task responsibility master?
I'll do that also.
Okay.
I'll link the schedule.
Great.
Schedule you have to have Lucy J. Albina, Labra, Aline, yeah. So I remove.
What's this one with Rashid here?
No, put Rashid there. You don't know who put Rashid there, whether he's the one or I don't know.
So Nilabra is still on here 4 times. 3 times?
Yeah.
At least 4, I don't know. Why did you just, oh, you're putting Nilabra down there?
Yeah.
Why are you putting them here, though? I don't understand why you don't put them under no shows.
Oh, it's supposed to be.
What?
You're not supposed to put them here and cross them down.
Yeah. And then what about Rashid? Why is Rashid listed here?
I don't know who put the Rashid there. I have no idea about that.
Okay, well, let's just assume that he's putting himself in the schedule.
I think he's putting himself in schedule.
Yeah, that's what I just said. All right, so we need to ask Nilabra what's going on with his schedule.
Yeah. He still has 4. Yes.
Okay, well, I think that looks pretty good.
Mm.
I'm still a little worried about Eileen. I'm trying to she's just 2 days, 3 days. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, we kind of skipped ahead and did attendance. That's okay. Let's go back to our check-ins. You want to check in?
Yeah. Good to attend this lecture. And I'm at 6. This week I work on digital storytellers. Substop coordination. Substop profile stop coordination. Global weekly, which is worker coordination.
Global weekly check-in?
Yeah, calculation, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm doing all right. I'm probably like a 6.5. I just got back from selling some of the gold. Gold seemed to have gone down a lot. We might have actually paid as much as 10% on the gold, but I don't know. We need to do the calculations one of these days to know how much it's costing us and do more payroll setup for other options for transferring funds. But I've also been working on this new People's Party project and also the WCTC and the sponsorship program and all the issues going on there with the Bay Area Creative. And I've also been working and talking with Mel a lot about some of the collaborator activities and maybe some grants. And then I've also been doing Mission Within, lots of work with Mission Within. So lots going on. Okay, so we did our check-ins. What's next here? All right, so we already went through the attendance pretty well. The comm group is still really small. I guess we could remove Albina and Abdul. Or we just leave them on for now, I guess. So any other questions about attendance?
No.
All right. So we need to link our prioritization spreadsheet. We have the Cobalt super team top, so we should be able to do that pretty easily. There we go, Cobalt priorities ranking spreadsheet. All right, so I'm linking the Cobalt priorities spreadsheet. And go into our prioritization.
You get that prioritization spreadsheet or let me look.
So it looks like we still do need to set up the backlog, but I'd say overall making a little progress. Looks like we do have backlog. It's just not clear or organized well.
You want to create the backlog?
The backlog spreadsheet needs to be really clear what it's for. So it can't just say backlog spreadsheet. This would need to be the Cobalt, New World backlog, or just like Cobalt backlog, East Pacific. So that's definitely not clear. Okay, well, I think we are pretty good as far as our priorities go. There's still a lot of work to be done to organize everything, but it's at least reasonable. Are you done prioritizing and voting, or where are you at?
I'm creating this backlog spreadsheet.
Don't we already have the backlog spreadsheet?
Yeah. I just want to link on this.
It's linked online. 38. Number 37. Right?
We already have another one, and I'm making another one.
Why are you making another one? What's wrong with the one we have?
Oh, I did not. Good.
The only concern I had was it says backlog spreadsheet view only. It's not. It doesn't clearly state what it's for. It could be a backlog spreadsheet for anything. We need a backlog spreadsheet for the East Pacific Cobalt session, right?
Yes, I think like East Pacific. Cobalt. Backlog East Pacific spreadsheet. I think it's okay now.
Okay. So are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't look like you voted on a lot of the top 20. Are you just not going to vote?
I voted.
What?
I'm voting on internal setup.
Okay,
Updating.
so I just asked you if you were done or not, and you said yes, you were done, and that you're ready to move on. So are you still voting, or are you done?
I'm still voting.
Okay, take your time.
I'm done.
Great. All right. So Let's update our internal priorities for the week. Looks like we're pretty set here for the top 10 or so. Looks like there's a couple changes. And just remember to copy everything under the backlog. Oh wait, this can just say backlog. I don't know why you're writing backlog e-specific here. It doesn't make any sense. It just says it should just say backlog here, you know? It actually should be all caps. You know, like that, backlog. I don't know, but I messed it up.
I just put the name for, or it's not supposed to be like that.
The problem is when you click on it. The problem is when you click on it, it doesn't say e-specific backlog. It just says backlog.
Okay.
So now it's not going anywhere.
It's okay now. Backlog.
Oh, yeah, see, now it says backlog e-specific Cobalt, but it still is view only. It needs to be more than just view only. But anyway, so we can add, you know, everything under number 43 can be added to the backlog and deleted off this.
It's okay now. I think I was the one creating and I did not make it. Cool. You can check now. It's okay.
So it's editable now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Excellent. All right, so we'll get to the backlog in a long time from now. All right, but everything under the backlog we can delete and add just the backlog. All right, so I think our top 10 is pretty clear. So we can add that to our priorities. And then we can go into our team goals. So it looks like taxes is our #1 priority for the team goals. Cool. So hopefully over time we can get a little better at getting it organized here. But this looks pretty good. So basically we've got our hard stop, soft stop coordination, go through our budget, work goals and priorities, and then we've got taxes, sponsorship program, and then we're gonna go back to team setup.
Nice, look good.
And then we have invoicing, billing. We have our new process for invoicing, billing, which I'm excited about. All right, so any other desired outcomes or topics?
No, I think that's enough for now.
Cool. Okay. So this looks good. So so the first topic would be the group and team setup priorities planning. So we would just go through each one really fast, like 1 minute, and make sure it's clear what the goals are and the plans for each priority, and then go from there. So next we have agreement on our topics and desired outcomes. Are there any objections to topics and desired outcomes?
No.
No. Okay, so then the next step would be schedule. So we should do in 15 minutes, we should do our break, you know, top of the hour break. Are you doing timekeeping?
Yeah.
We have bottom of the hour
break
session.
should be at the top of the hour, I think, because we have like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're really bad at that. I mean, we should just, whoever's the timekeepers, you should set an alarm, make sure that we do it, and just like, you know, it should be, I mean, we're paying people to do this. We should be able to take breaks at the top of the hour every single hour. You know what I mean? Like we need to figure out a way to improve that, because it doesn't make sense that it just, we pass by over every time. It's like ridiculous. We every once in a while we do it, right? All right. So then from there, we have. I do think we should do a new voting form for the new world. I don't think this. I think I want to keep. What I want to do is I want to keep the Cobalt weekly session. But then I want to you know, create a new voting form for the new world weekly session. So do like a scheduling voting form for the new world, and we might change the time for the new world weekly session. So that more people can show up, because obviously this isn't a very good time for people.
So we want to change to which one now?
What?
Create a new schedule form, voting form for the new world schedule. So which time is it favorable for everyone?
Yeah, so that's what the scheduling form will do, is it'll help organize when we're gonna do you want to work on the scheduling form?
What's supposed to be on that form?
Well, we have lots of scheduling form examples, but it would basically just be the list of all of the options. You know, I mean, you can see on our schedule here, there are there's 7 days, and there's 4, you know, octants. You have Hydra, Andromeda, Cobalt, Sonic times 7 days. So 4 times 7 is 28 options. So there'd be exactly 28 options for when we would have our weekly main session meeting for the New World team. So the Cobalt main session is the Cobalt, and you know, at one point, you know, we had the most people at this session, so it made sense for it to be the New World session. But at this point, you know, the people aren't showing up, so it might make sense to move the New World session to a different time. Okay.
Okay.
But I want to keep the Cobalt main session still here at this time. Unless
I think the time is okay for Cobalt main session. It's just that the people who are scheduled are very few. Yeah, just few.
Yeah, so maybe if we do a New World a new scheduling form, like we could reschedule at a better time for people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, if you want to help with the scheduling form, that would be fine. Also, we need to put that in our priority work. Okay, you gonna do that?
Yeah. I'll help as long as
I didn't understand. So you're saying that you did want to work on the scheduling form, or you're just going to put it to our priority work for later? Or?
I'll work on scheduling form, but the thing is, I just need the right information that I should include on that form only. I will do.
Well, people would just be voting for. I mean, you can look at past scheduling forms. We have scheduling forms for each main session. There should be a scheduling form. Also, I think we need to create a new doc for the New World Super Team. I don't think we have a New World Super Team doc. And then so it would the voting form should be simple. You know, I would say use an existing scheduling form for structure, right? Like Hydra or something. And what you would
include. Have really existing form for that?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, we have existing voting forms for sure. Eventually, once we're organized, every single main session will have a voting form. Anyways, then the other detail is that you would include, the 4 octants and the 7 days of the week, and then people just choose. People just choose which days they are available. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I can show you really quickly how to do it in one voting form. It's pretty easy if you want me to show you, but it's easier just to look at an existing model.
I think it's okay.
Okay. All right, just let me know if you have questions, and I always change it around. Well, here, I can show you really quick. I mean, it's just so easy. So let's say you come on here and you create a new question. It's not letting me create a new question. All right, so if you create a new question and you just do a multiple choice checkbox, your rows are going to be the octants. So you have Hydra. What's after Hydra? Andromeda.
Then Cobalt.
Cobalt and Sonic. And your columns are just, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And there you go. So people can say, all right, I'm available Sunday in Hydra, or am I available Cobalt on Thursdays? Right? And so then people just check which days they're available, and then that'll be the vote. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, it should be pretty simple. And there's 28 options.
It's okay.
And when you're doing a single super team, like for example, just for Cobalt, you only have 7 options. It's either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Right? So for just Cobalt, we have 7 options. We chose Wednesday. And you could make it even clearer, like you could do Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, since Tuesday, Wednesday, like that. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it's because it's different days for different people, so make sure it's clear what day it actually is. So that's how you'd want to do it like that. That's the model that we use for our scheduling, but our scheduling vote. All right, very good.
Yeah. Yes, I understand.
Cool. All right. So we're good on our schedule except for the rest of the week. So there's Zuri coming up, and then we have Quarter Moon. The Quarter Moon's on like Saturdays or something like that. I don't know.
We have dynamic.
Zuri is it, or is it dynamic? Dynamic?
Yeah.
But you guys don't actually have dynamic sessions, do you? Like work sessions?
Dynamic main session.
I know, but I'm talking about the work sessions. You guys only do Zuri sessions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might want to change it to Zuri. I would just do another scheduling form for Old World as well, so you can schedule the best time for the Old World main weekly session. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's all we need. We just need the one old world main weekly session. And maybe Zuri if you guys want to do Zuri. But if there's nothing scheduled during dynamic, there's like no reason to have a session at that time. And we also probably need to create an old world super team doc as well. I don't know if one exists for that either.
No, we don't have super team docs for both new and or we just use.
Yeah, we're gonna want to do that. Cool, yeah. All right, so I think we're done with scheduling. Any other questions on scheduling?
No.
All right, so next we have proposals. I can't think of any new proposals. Do you have any proposals?
No, currently I don't have any proposals.
Okay. All right, so then let's go to our first topic then, which is going to be group setup, priorities, and planning. So this is really good practice to get used to making sure we're running the meetings properly, especially when we're getting paid for it. We want to really make sure we're doing our meetings well because we're still struggling on actually getting our meetings organized. Anyway, so we're just going to quickly go through these. So the first one is going to be hard stop, soft stop coordination. So as a timekeeper, the goal for the timekeeping is 1 minute per topic.
It is 1 minute for group setup. We get 50 minutes, and we have 1 minute.
So for the group team setup priorities planning, right? The whole goal of this is to quickly, goal is to quickly review the goals of each of our priority topics. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it could take, 1 minute each. It would take us 10 minutes, but most likely some of them will go over, so it'll end up being around 15 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
So as a timekeeper, you need to give us a 1 minute warning. Okay. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We are at the top of the hour. We can take a break for 2 minutes or 3.
Great. All right. So let's take a couple minutes break, like 3 minutes, and then we'll come back and get started with our group team setup priorities.
Yes.
Great.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
All right. So hard stop, soft stop coordination. So this would be our internal priorities here. So there's a couple things, like obviously we did really good on all the work we did yesterday, but there's a few things we want to do moving forward. One, we need to make sure everyone understands what it means. So we might need to even do a training video. May need to do a training video on this. We also need to make sure that new recruits from New World don't reduce, client work hours. Since like the New World, the biggest problem with New World is the client work. So we must get people focused on client work right away, especially people ranked low, right?
Yeah.
So basically what that means is if they can't do the hard stop priorities or the client work, that they can't work, okay? Otherwise, they'll just make our situation even worse, which would not be good. So I think that's pretty much it. Can you think of any other priorities for hard stop coordination? Oh, and then there's the other one, which is the new responsibility. What was that new responsibility?
Yeah.
What was that one called? Update the worker involvement verification spreadsheet. So this new responsibility needs to be organized. So you can put that in our work priorities. Okay.
Okay.
And this one we've kind of done a little bit off and on, because we sort of got, main octant managers to help coordinate people's schedules and all that, but we just never really followed through with it, so we just need to make it a clear responsibility. I mean, technically speaking, the people who are overseeing the schedule for the old world and the schedule for the new world would be helping with that responsibility. So do you have any other questions on hard soft stop coordination?
Yes. Updating verification status. So what does that mean on that responsibilities?
Updating verification status for what?
For on soft Substop priority, and the responsibility is updating status verification.
Updating status verification. That's a responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I showed you yesterday, where you go through the responsibilities and get updates on if they have been completed, right? So that's like the most important thing, because if no one gets the updates for the status verification, then they're not going to be able to. We don't even know what. Like, this is the only way to know whether or not people are on soft stop and hard stop, is to get updates on what's going on. Right? So for example, whoever is responsible to update the worker involvement verification spreadsheet, this verification is going to tell us who is on soft stop or who is on hard stop in relationship to their schedule, their responsibilities, their priorities, their responsibility organizing, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then it's up to you as the hard stop, soft stop coordinator to get that information from whoever is doing this responsibility. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
And this responsibility will be a soft hard stop responsibility, so we need to add it to the list and we need to make sure that it happens. Otherwise, people go on hard stop and soft stop.
So what about the responsibilities that has no one assigned and are on soft stop?
Then if no one does it, then everyone goes on soft stop and then everyone goes on hard stop, depending on the timeline. So if no one does the responsibility and it's a hard soft stop responsibility, then everyone goes on hard stop until the responsibility gets done. Does that make sense? That's the whole point of a hard stop.
Yeah.
So every single responsibility that's hard stop and soft stop has 4 deadlines, right? So the first deadline is what would be individual soft stop, right? And the second deadline is individual hard stop. And then you have the third deadline is team soft stop. And then the fourth deadline is team hard stop. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. And if there's no individual working on it, then you go directly to team soft stop and then team hard stop. And you could say that the second deadline and the third deadline are the same deadline, so there's really just 3 deadlines. But anyways, the point is that if the individual doesn't do the work, the team is still responsible for the work getting done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's like, for example, with Zilu, like you had said to everybody that, oh, Zilu, he's the only one who's going to put on soft stop and hard stop for taxes. That's insanity. Like, that we're all responsible for doing the taxes. No one person could ever be able to complete all the taxes by themselves. It would be insane. So it's like we either all step up and make sure the taxes get done, or we all stop working. It's like it's due. Like, the taxes are due to the IRS, and the whole corporation will go under if we don't do it. So therefore, we have no right to work if the taxes don't get done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so what are we doing on our time?
We are on. Sorry, I think.
All right, so how are we going to improve on our timekeeping?
We have to, like, we are on 8 minutes now.
Okay, but there's 1 minute per topic.
Is it 1 minute? Not 1 minute. 15 minutes on soft stop.
No. No. Group team setup priorities planning, right? And we're doing a quick review.
So we are still on that?
Yes.
Okay. I thought now we are on this one. Okay.
No, this is going to be 1 minute. It's just like a quick review. Yeah, so this is really, 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 really important. So when we do a group team setup priorities at the beginning, the first thing we do is quickly review all of our priorities and make sure we know what the goals are. Does that make sense?
So it's just like perusing, going to get the goal before we go deeply, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the desired outcome for each one, but most of the time we don't actually get to the topic, so we don't actually discuss it, so this is like the only chance for a lot of the items that we get to discuss it at all for like 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, I get it.
And the same thing would be true when we go through all of our goals for the week. We're going to want to go through each. What are the goals, for each of these, all the client work, so that, and then we go back through and we'll go actually in detail and do a full 10 or 15 minutes on each one. Okay?
Yes.
So the first thing is 10 to 15 minutes on checking through a quick review of each goal and each prior topic, 1 minute per topic. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So the next topic would be the budget. So the goal for the budget is to get it passed by the HR board. So we sent out the voting form, right?
Yes.
So now we need to do the voting tabulation. Okay?
Okay.
And this is for this would be like the last month's, well, no, this is the current month's budget. So this is, we'll say past due current month's budget. And so we're currently on soft stop on this. Currently on soft stop here. Okay? That's a problem.
Okay.
So then we have the next budget that we are not on soft stop. So we are good, status good, right? So for the next budget, at the quarter moon, the team invoicing is due, right?
Okay.
When we get to the invoicing, we'll talk some more about the process for the new invoicing process. So is there any other question for the budget?
No.
Okay. So how are we doing on time here? Are we good?
Yeah, we are good. Exactly 1 minute on that.
So it's just like we just quickly review the goals so that people know what the goal is, and then we go on to the next topic. So the next topic is the work goals and priorities. So when we go through the work goals and priorities, we're going to be reviewing all of the work goals and priorities, and we can just quickly go over them. So we have taxes, which we're going on soft stop now. Sponsorship program, which is digital storytellers, right? I wonder if we can just grab this here. Work goals and priorities. Work goals and priorities. Ooh. Really small. There we go. So taxes, we are on soft stop, and we have to do Innovate United. We just got to get that done as soon as possible. And the sponsorship programs, digital storytellers. We're going through our internal setup now. Client work priorities. I think we need to do a spreadsheet for this. So I think we need to create a spreadsheet for our client work priorities, because I haven't seen actually our client work prioritized in a clear way. So that would be a task. Umbrella accounting and finances. I mean, there's just so much here. We have accounting. We've got our money organizing. I mean, this is just a mess. But maybe we could try to turn it into client work. But right now I don't know if it is. Osmo. Oh, we're doing the status report, right?
Yeah.
Cobalt, Jello team recruitment and coordination. I think this might be internal, but we do want to do some more recruitment. Mandatory priorities, I think, are pretty clear, kind of reducing this. Jello new recruit support, and so we're doing that.
1 minute on that.
Yeah, cool. All right, so those are our work goals and priorities for our client work. Ages, the end of the road, and thanks to the people voting. Ages, so this is the end of the thanks to the people voting for that proposal. So with Miguel, I'm definitely open to maybe trying to do like a 1 month thing or something like that, or do some back pay or something for him to help him out. What do you think?
You want to do it?
What?
You said Miguel want to do it?
Well, he wants to work with us, but I'm saying we might be able to do like a 1 month thing, or maybe like a back pay thing just to help him out. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think you can do. But the thing is, instead of back pay, then you just have to approve him to work, right?
Well, I think we owe him back pay, so if he needed some help, we could do that. But allowing him to work gets more complicated than back pay in many ways.
So then how is going to pay back pay? You know, he don't have I don't think whether Miguel has a back pay, unless advance.
All right, so let's go on to our next topic, which is invoicing and billing. So with invoicing and billing, we have the new process. So we need to prioritize going through the new process for the invoicing. So right now, Eileen is working on it, supposedly.
Eileen is not working on that. She's working on it where?
On what?
You say Eileen is working on that. Where now? She's not showing off.
I know, this would be from this week. I mean, she wrote something in, I believe it was the Jello team. I remember seeing something from Eileen. Yeah, right here. Hello, guys. Started responsibly organizing for the individual worker pre-tabulation. She gave us the link. So we can look into that. So we can look into this link and everything and try to figure out whether it's going on. But I went through this in detail with her for the pre-tabulation. So this is the first. So the first task is getting each person will have their own spreadsheet where they log their client work and billable.
Even the doc that she's creating is no permission.
Okay, well, let her know that we need to get permission. Cool. So anyways, we're working on the new invoicing model, which is going to start with each person being responsible for logging their own client work for the previous month and doing and making sure that it's organized. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. And there's at least like 5 or 10 steps to the whole new invoicing process. but it's going to be more steps, but it should be easier for each step to be completed successfully and quickly, okay? And it'll make all of the steps for the new invoicing process will be more based on individual involvement, so that the base information will come from the individual, which should cut down on the work. The rest of it is just tabulation, which should go pretty quickly within the spreadsheets because just copying and pasting. So anyways, we need to go through this in detail, and Eileen's working on it, but we can't expect Eileen to do it. Does that make sense? Also, this is a soft/hard stop responsibility because it determines the budget. And it's really cool too because the budget's a soft hard stop responsibility. So the new outcome for this will be a 3-tier budget. You're going to have owner's budgets, you're going to have the UMBUS budget, and then you're going to have basically the FQN, global budget. All right, so the idea is to get you and other people who are doing client work and internal ops work into the UMBUS budget, and to differentiate that from the global budget, which will buffer, new recruits and other people, okay, and allow for a little more flexibility on the ranking. So the more money you help bring in as an individual, the higher you're going to rank. All right. Cool. All right, so any other questions on the invoicing?
So when are you going to train us to work on that? Because everything is like, even though Aline is going to work on that, if she's not showing up, it's still going to be a responsibility for all team.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get it today, but it's our 4th priority here after we do our work goals and priorities. So,
okay.
So, that's when we would do it.
We spend like 2 minutes on that.
On what?
2 to 3 minutes.
It'll take 15 to 30 minutes to explain the process for the invoicing and billing. But the first step to the invoicing and billing is that each person has their own spreadsheet and that they log their client work and their billable work on their own spreadsheet. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll keep a record of each individual so that we're tracking each individual's client work and billable work. Because right now we're not really doing that. It's not clear. Okay, so we're ready to move on to the next one?
Yes.
All right, so how are we doing on time though? I mean, are we at our 15 minutes or not? We're really bad. We're just doing terrible on timekeeping.
Yeah.
Should we go over the timekeeping again?
You spend 3 minutes on invoice.
Huh?
You say I should do 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
I know, but you're not doing 1 minute. You're not telling us what our timekeeping is. But remember, it's not just 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. It's also 10 to 15 minutes for the entire agenda item.
Okay. Then we have like 3 minutes left. Total minutes for this.
Yeah, but we're still the bigger problem is just our timekeeping is just not functional.
It's a bit confusing when you say I should use 1 minute, so I was timing myself for 1 minute, but I know we spent already like 30 minutes already now. 30 minutes. It's a bit confusing, Jay, when you say I have to track 1 minute, 1 minute.
How is that confusing? Each item gets 1 minute. Okay, let's go over this again. So it should be pretty simple. We have group. The agenda item is the group team setup priorities planning, right?
Yeah.
And we have 10 to 15 minutes for this, right? So our goal is to quickly review each of our priority topics, and we do 1 minute per topic. How is that confusing?
it's clear now. You know, before when you said only 1 minute, 1 minute. So I leave that 10 minutes. I just come and make sure I just only count 1 minute. When you're through, you go 1 minute. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new model that we're using, but we just need to get through more items because we always get stuck on the first item because people just get confused. I don't know. It's just really hard. Global organizing is very difficult. You know, the language barriers and all the problems. You know, and communication is very slow. So we need to get through more items to at least get the goal so people know what needs to happen, because people don't even understand what's happening and then they can't do the work, right? So if we at least get the goal for each priority, like what is the priorities for each of our topics so that the work can get done, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just going through one, we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, which is better than 1. But either way, we still have a problem with our timekeeping on everything. I'm going to see if I can try to find some type of stopwatch. Countdown timer plus. In-app purchases. Flexible timers. Try this one. Lock light. So we're at the bottom of the hour now, and obviously you as the timekeeper are probably most likely not going to be mentioning it, so I'm going to mention it. So we're going to do our stretch, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Good.
30-second stretch is over.
Yeah. So which topic are you going to continue now, or you're still doing group review?
I mean, I think we need to new timer name. Top of hour. So how do we do it?
I have like what?
It's not like
20 minutes.
It's not an alarm though. It's just like a stopwatch. So it counts up instead of down. So we definitely want one that counts the other direction too. Start. So we can set the minutes. So for this one, we're going to set 27 minutes. Start. Cool. All right, so that should count down for our top of the hour, which is good. So that'll be our top of the hour break. But it looks like we can only do one at a time on this. Timer and round. I wonder what that means. Timer and round. Here. Reset round. Reset round number. Well, here we go. See, this one's good. It has a timer, a stopwatch, alarms. It's got the full shebang-a-bang. Well, we might have to pay for the good one. All right. So, anyways, at least this. I'm thinking it might work better for just me to help keep track of all the time directly, because people just don't do it. You know, and I mean, I can't keep track of the time myself, but if I set a timer or something, maybe we can do that. All right. So, anyways, our first topic. So we did the quick review of all of our topics, and now that we actually go into the topic, which would be our hard stop, soft stop coordination. Right? So I feel like we should be able to do this pretty good in, like, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe.
I can see it's there 15 minutes. Are we going to do 15 or 5 minutes?
Oh, God. Stop. No, it doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. 4 minutes. So what was your question?
I just forget what it was asking.
Yeah, it's just really hard to facilitate and coordinate everything and do the timing at the same time, but I just don't know what else to do if other people don't do the timing. Okay, so I mean, we went over this. We spent a lot of time on this before, but is there any other questions or specific things that you wanted to go over here about the hard stop, soft stop coordination? So you think we already went over it all?
I don't know whether we went over all, but maybe you can just peruse and see if something needs to be. So am I the one day to add the responsibilities, for example, super team invoice? And do we still have a super team invoice since you said we are going to change our invoicing or the way on doing our invoice?
Yes, we still have a super team invoice.
Okay.
So
should am I the one now supposed to add the responsibilities? For example, for super team priority, we need to add the responsibilities.
Well, they should already be there. So if you want to link it, we can take a look. But the point is that the responsibility that you're responsible for is the setup. So you need to set up, you know, and make sure all the responsibilities are listed, especially the ones that are top priority, and then also make sure that the status is checked once they're listed there. Right? And you need to make sure all the people are listed there, all the teams are listed, right? Because if you don't have the responsibilities, the teams or the people who are involved, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do, it's not going to work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yes, it's your responsibility to make sure it's updated, and then you want to make sure that we're doing the status check, right? Or you can assign other people to do that, right? As the coordinator, you don't actually have to do the work. You can assign other people to do the responsibility, right? But you need to report back if it's not getting accomplished, and then that would be a hard stop. So if the work's not getting accomplished, then everyone goes on hard stop. You've assigned yourself to do it for now, but if you but you don't have to do it. You can assign someone else to do it. Okay?
Yeah. So what should I update it on positions doc? Can I list all the dates that are, like, for example, on individual taxes, 15th we will have a soft stop. On taxes date first September we have hard stop. So should I list that all? Should I link that all on position coordination doc? Sub-stop position coordination doc.
What are you linking again?
I'm asking like on position doc for coordination sub-stop. Should I link the, like, for example, individual taxes that have a deadline as a deadline?
So I don't know if you notice here, but in our notes here, there's nothing here. It's 0, 0, zilcha. Like we have nothing linked. We have no information. We have no priorities. We have no discussion topics. So it's really hard for me to follow you because I just don't know what you're talking about without the information and the link. And actually, you need to tell me what you're talking about before you talk about it. Otherwise, I just have no idea.
Okay.
It's like, what response are you? Did you even state what responsibility you're discussing, or I just don't understand? Like you're talking about 4 or 5 different things, and it's very hard to follow all of them because you didn't tell us what you want to focus on. So what is it that your question's about? Because I just don't even understand the question. Hello?
I was just asking on a position doc that you say I create. What should I update on that? Like we got position.
So
priority.
the position organizing, right? Position organizing.
Yeah. Sub-stop position priority doc.
Okay, so maybe we need to do a position organizing training. We add that to our priorities list. I mean, we go over it at our management trainings, right? Like, do you remember doing the management trainings and going over how to organize your position doc, or you don't remember?
I remember.
So, but position organizing is a new, very important, thing that we need. So we need a doc on this. We might need to just create like a position organizing doc. Create a position organizing doc. And then this should give us more information about the steps for organizing positions. But I mean, basically, you're listing the responsibilities, you're listing the priorities to make sure that's all organized. I thought we created it though. I don't know. Didn't we already?
We created. I created one, but you changed. You alternate. You changed.
Like okay. So like again, I don't feel comfortable talking about this without putting any effort into organizing it. I mean, we have no link still. We have nothing. We've been talking about it for over 5 minutes. There's still no link. There's no information. There's no clear goal. There's no outcome. Like it's very, very just like I don't know what to say. Like I thought we already went through all of this yesterday, and I thought we already had a position organizing doc or a position doc. So do you want me to do it? Do you want me to find all the links and all the information from yesterday?
I have them.
So why don't you just link it to the notes? I don't understand why we're sitting here talking about something and not putting it in the notes. I don't get it. I've already asked 3 or 4 times for us to do this. It's just like there's just no way. Yeah, coordinator position doc. Why does it say coordinator position doc? What does that mean?
That was the one we had yesterday.
So is it soft hard stop coordinator or is it a different coordinator position?
Yeah, soft stop coordinator. That was what I'm asking. Well, can I list all?
No, this is not that. This is the soft hard stop priorities doc.
But it was created to be for that. I think you changed. You put it as code.
Yeah, we switched them. Remember we switched them?
Yeah.
So this is the incorrect information. This is not the coordinator. This is the priorities doc.
So I need to change also this one if it is that, because it is showing up priority.
I just don't. What I don't understand is I don't understand why we don't have all of the information from yesterday already linked or copied and pasted here. I just don't get it.
My machine is slow. I try to get this web slam open.
Okay. So why don't I get it then? If you can't get it, then I should get it. Right? So you're telling me you don't have the information, you can't put it on the notes. As the soft hard stop coordinator, it's your responsibility to make sure the information for the main session is available to the group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you can't do it, you need to tell it. You need to tell me. So can you do it or can you not do it? I'm not hearing, you're not answering.
You know, I'm now confused. What should I do to know what to do?
Yesterday we had like a page or more of information. We need to copy and paste the information into our notes so that we can actually go through it. Otherwise, there's nothing. There's just nothing here to go through. I mean, we could even just link, yesterday's meeting. I mean, it shouldn't be so complicated. I'm going to do it. Okay, so you're basically telling me that you're not capable of copying the information from yesterday, correct? So I'm going to do it instead, right? Is that correct, Lucy? Lucy?
Yes, it's not correct.
What's
the thing
not
is,
correct? Hello?
Under position.
Lucy?
Look. Yes?
Okay, so what again do you not understand? Yeah, there we go. Why did it take over 10 minutes to copy and paste the information? Is it really?
I told you my machine was very slow to open, so.
So you're telling me it took 10 minutes and took me 6 or 7 times to ask for it. It was all because of your machine. Hello?
Yes, yeah.
My question was whether you're telling me that the only reason it just took over 10 minutes for you to get the information here and over 6 times me asking for you to do it is only because of your machine being slow. There's no other reason.
Yeah, I know where the information is. When I tried to open to go back and see our yesterday note, it was taking time to open so that I copy.
Okay, so why don't you just say that you're working on trying to open the document? Like you just told me you were confused and didn't understand over and over again. It was very, very frustrating. But anyways, this is what should be happening at the beginning of the session. Does that make sense? Of the topic?
Yes.
Not at the end. It doesn't make any sense at the end of the topic to put the information, because now it's like, oh, great, we have the information, but the topic's over. So we just spent 10 to 15 minutes talking about nothing because we didn't have the information to be able to discuss it. Right? So now we actually can.
So what is different between internal and external? You put it like different. You list the priorities for external and for internal.
No idea what we're talking about. So anyways, you want to make sure that all this information is copied and pasted into the hard stop coordinator doc. And in here, all the information should be in here, and we just need to work on getting it organized so that it's clear. So let me try your question again. What is your question?
I was asking, you link this hard stop, soft stop priority on different link, like list the priorities for soft stop in bracket internal, external. Then again, list the priorities for support the coordination internal. So what's the difference between internal and external? And why, if there is a difference, why we use one document on both of this?
So this is internal to the coordinator position, internal to the coordinator position, right? This is external to the entire global core team, right? Why is that important? Because all members, all workers need to be able to choose priorities and responsibilities. Okay?
Okay, using the same doc, the responsibility that's on the same doc.
I don't know. I mean, we went over this all yesterday, and I thought it was really clear. So for the hard stop, soft stop priorities doc, it's exactly the same as the mandatory priorities doc or the client work priorities doc. So you're going to want to link the mandatory priority doc and the client work priorities doc. So when you go to the mandatory priorities doc, it lists all of the priorities, all the responsibilities that need to get done. Right? So the soft stop, hard stop priorities doc is going to be exactly the same, except instead of listing all of the mandatory priorities, you're only going to list the soft stop, hard stop priorities. And the number one priority is the soft stop, hard stop coordination. Right? And we need to get the soft stop, hard stop priorities doc organized. And this is the responsibility of the coordinator position, right? The responsibilities themselves, you can get someone else to do, but making sure that it's set up and the information is available to all of the workers, that's the most important thing. That's the work that the actual coordinator does. Right? This is a coordinator responsibility to actually update the soft stop, hard stop priorities doc. Right? Or you can find someone else to do it, I guess, if you want to, but the point is that it needs to get done.
Yes, this is what I was asking. Can I go back to the mandatory and make sure to choose all the priorities that are on sub-stop, hard stop priority and list them on this document for sub-stop?
Yes, exactly.
Priority doc?
Yes, exactly.
That was my question.
That's exactly correct.
Okay, that was what I'm asking.
Yes. And you're going to want to link the client work priorities doc here. And then the client work priorities doc needs a spreadsheet. We need to be prioritizing all the client work. I don't know if that's happened yet. And
we also have different like list of priorities spreadsheet. I don't know what are we going to put on that. The same priorities we put on the spreadsheet also.
I don't know what you're talking about. You need to tell me what you're talking about before you ask.
I'm talking about because we have already a doc for priorities. Then what again, priorities? We have a spreadsheet again for priorities. Are we going to copy the priorities that on the doc into the spreadsheet priorities doc? Spreadsheet?
For hard soft stop priorities?
Yes.
Hard stop are responsibilities. So the priorities should be listed in, maybe you could list them in the actual doc, but it's just like, I mean, if you want to create a separate tab for the priorities, you can. So maybe in the spreadsheet, you create a separate tab that's just the priorities, rank all the priorities, and then the rest of it's for the responsibilities. But the hard stop, soft stop coordination is all about the responsibilities. The doc is just there to list the priorities so people can see what the work that needs to get done is. And then you also need to be organizing the soft stop, hard stop coordinator position doc. Like you need to list all the internal responsibilities and then the responsibilities for the position, as well as the responsibilities that the position oversees.
Okay.
So anyways, like what we obviously the next step here is just not about the hard stop, stop, stop responsibilities. The problem here seems to be management training, management and coordinator training, which we do during the Mercury sessions, right? But if it's a problem, we need to do more management coordinator training, then we just have to figure out more time to do it, you know, so we can add it to our priorities. Because everyone should know how to organize a coordinator position doc. But obviously that seems to be the issue.
It's not really issue, it's just like when I'm asking the question, you are not getting, and my machine also goes slow. So it's like, yeah, that is why it seems like we have misunderstanding. That's not.
I know, but it's also it's just not organized correctly. You haven't listed the responsibilities yet. You haven't organized the responsibilities, and you know we haven't organized the priorities either. You know, so as long as you understand the work, it should be possible for you to get it done, or at least started. I mean, I don't even see it started. Like I did almost all of it yesterday. I don't think you did much of anything. You just listened to me, you know?
Organizing where again, I think that is okay. Is there the other way of
organizing? What is the number one priority for any manager position? What does the position do? What's the number one thing that any manager, any general coordinator, general manager does? What is the first thing they do?
To check on the progress.
No.
The first thing is to get organized.
On what? How do you get organized? What's the first thing you do to get organized?
You get organized on priorities that need to get done.
Okay. So where is that?
You know that doc has a lot of information, so it's like I don't know if we push other information down, then I organize at the top of that. We push the other information down.
Whatever it takes to get organized. You know, maybe you could start by doing like a table of contents and organizing it with the table of contents. You know, insert a line. You know, put together a table of contents so that you can start putting headings on everything. All right, and then when you have headings, you could actually see what's in the doc. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So my question again is, where are the list of priorities for the coordinator position? Right, so these priorities are hard stop, soft stop priorities, right? This is what goes into here. List of priorities for hard stop and soft stop. There it is. Right, so I'm doing the work for you again because you don't seem to know what to do. So where is the list of priorities for the coordinator position?
I have them on a spreadsheet.
Okay, so make sure that is linked to the coordinator doc. Everything needs to be in the coordinator doc. If it's not in the coordinator doc, it doesn't apply to the position. You understand?
Yeah, I think this is the one responsibility that you update yesterday.
So where is it?
Updating sub-stop priority, notification, announcement, updating tracking spreadsheet, updating status. Therefore,
those are responsibilities.
Okay, yeah. Are you not asking for the responsibilities?
You're the one who asked me for the list of priorities. You're the one who asked, and I'm asking you where is the list? Where is the list of the position priorities? Can you share your screen? I want to see what you're doing because I'm not understanding what's going on. Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not understanding where you're looking. Like, it's like the only reason I can imagine you not finding it is because you're just not looking.
I was just on the same spreadsheet that I was with you yesterday.
So first of all, we're not talking about spreadsheets. We're talking about the position and organizing the position, which goes into the coordinator position doc.
Maybe you make it clear.
These are responsibilities. These are responsibilities, not priorities.
We have only one priorities here, which is sub-stop coordination.
But that has nothing to do with the position. That has to do with the hard stop, soft stop coordination overall. It's a priority for hard stop, soft stop responsibilities overall. That's external, right? So you have external priorities for all of the hard stop and soft stop priorities for the entire organization, the entire network, right? For the entire network. Does that make sense? These are the hard stop, soft stop priorities for the whole network. You understand or not?
Yes.
So then these are the soft stop, hard stop coordination for the position, right? For the manager / coordinator position. How many people does that apply to? How many people does that apply to?
Many.
No. How many people does the manager coordinator position apply to? How many people are soft hard stop coordinators?
One person.
One person. How many people are in the network?
15, no. 15 people.
Applies to about 15 people. Do you understand the difference yet? I mean, we're going back and forth this over and over and over again. Do you understand or no? Do we need to do it again? So the number one.
You can repeat again.
The number one hard stop, soft stop priority for the entire network is the soft hard stop coordination. And then we know there's at least 4 responsibilities under the hard stop, soft stop coordination. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand that 4 responsibility that I read for you. And you say that is not the one.
What is not what?
You see that is not for position. I don't understand now.
This is the priority for the entire network. Is the soft hard stop priorities for the entire network. Right? Is the budget a priority for the coordinator position? The number 2 priority is the budget. Is that a priority for the coordinator position?
No, it's for entire community.
So obviously these are not applicable to the coordinator position. They're applicable to the entire network. Because the coordinator position is not doing the budget. The coordinator position is not doing client work. The coordinator position is not doing the taxes. That make sense yet?
Yes.
Okay, so then what is the number one priority of the coordinator position?
Create the doc and get organized. Organize
Exactly.
all.
So where do we find that? Where is it?
We have position, FQN position spreadsheet.
That would be applicable to the tactical ops coordinator, not the hard soft stop coordinator.
So where can't we link for that? Are we not supposed also to link soft stop coordinator and soft stop hard stop coordination on position doc spreadsheet, on position spreadsheet?
Yes,
where are we supposed to link that?
Sure, add the position coordinator. So this is going to be a position for the hard soft stop coordinator, and it should be a priority position, and it should be in there. So as a tactical ops coordinator, you're going to want to make sure all the current positions are listed and updated. But that still is completely ignoring my question, which is where is the list of the coordinator priorities?
You have it on the coordination doc, this one.
Okay, so but this is the hard stop, soft stop priorities doc for the entire network. This applies to everybody. What do you mean? Where is the okay, let's go over it again. What is the number one priority for the soft stop, hard stop coordinator?
To check on the responsibilities that
no, that's a responsibility. That is a responsibility that the coordinator assigns. Right? It's one of the 4 responsibilities that the coordinator is responsible for making sure someone is doing. The coordinator themselves don't do the work. Okay? So what is the number one priority for the responsibility for the coordinator, for the hard stop, soft stop coordinator? You just said it like 5 minutes ago, and now you seem to have forgot it again.
The first is to get organized.
Yes, exactly. Right, that's correct. So where does it say that? It must say that somewhere. Here are the priorities of the coordinator. Number one priority, get organized. Where does it say that? It needs to say that somewhere.
I did not say anywhere. I did not write anywhere because I was like, which doc should I
Okay, well then write it somewhere. Write it somewhere. Figure it out. Where are you going to put it?
Position doc. I think I need to create the position doc.
Oh my goodness graciousness. We just went over this like multiple times. We already have a positions doc. It was already created and we linked it and it's on the notes and it's there and we went over it multiple times. There's 2 docs. One is for the priorities for the entire network. The other is the internal position doc.
But that has a lot of information, Jay. So where should I put a small note that I know this is the priority that I for the position?
Write it. It'll take you 30 seconds. It'll literally take 30 seconds to use your typewriter, to use your keys on your keyboard of your computer, make a section, write coordinator priorities, and put number one priority, get organized, and then you can start listing your priorities. It's not that complicated. Like, well, I don't understand why you're saying this is so difficult to make a list of priorities. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not difficult to get organized. I can write and
no, this is not the coordinator position doc. This is for the entire network. Getting organized for the hard stop, soft stop coordinator is not applicable, nor is it a hard stop, soft stop priority. You need to go to the coordinator position doc. I've been saying this for over 10 minutes, right? It's the coordinator position doc. Yes, thank you. This applies to one person. Who is that one person? You. You are the one person this doc applies to. This is your doc to organize your position. I don't know how to make it any more clear than that. Have you looked at this doc yet? Have you even gone through it?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't think there's anywhere in this doc that lists a single priority? Anyway, so I think that's a good start. So, I mean, I think at this point in time, there's at least 3 or 4 places on the document that list priorities. I'm not sure why it's so complicated. We need to figure out how to simplify this process of prioritization since something seems to be missing in the communications, but it's just like your stop, hard stop coordinator doc, you have your priorities and you list your priorities and then you organize them and you get like this is the beginning of getting organized is listing your priorities. And I personally feel like you haven't really looked at that because it's listed in at least 3 or 4 places where the priorities are. And now what you need to do is you need to compile them and organize them together so it's not in 3 or 4 different places. But anyways, I'm going to get going because this is, not really helping much because we're just going back and forth and not making much progress. But at least you know now that you need to focus on the doc instead of like the actual coordinator position doc instead of other docs. Okay?
Okay.
So you need to get this organized and then you need to bring it back and send it to me and get it verified that you're organized. Okay? And you need to list your responsibilities, you need to list your priorities as a coordinator position so that you know what you're doing and your goals. Like what is the goal? So I'm not sure why it's so complicated, but I'm assuming that it's just because you and other people don't know how to do basic management and basic coordination organizing. So we need to go through that, especially at the Mercury session. We need to go through position organizing and actually getting organized. All right.
Yeah, the thing is, this document are two. It was confusing.
I know, but that's your responsibility.
Like, which one should I use? But now that I get it.
Okay, but it's your responsibility to organize your coordinator position doc. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you can't come to me or other people and complain that your doc isn't organized because it's your responsibility to organize it. So organize it to make it work for you. Right? If you're complaining about it not being organized, it's your own fault because it's your responsibility to organize it. It's your position doc. You're the position coordinator. You need to organize your doc and get it organized for you. So you can't complain to other people about it. Okay?
So Jay, what about all this information?
What about it?
Can I put it in a different doc or I just use it the way it is?
Well, what is the information?
Because it has a lot of information, even though it's helpful. Invoice, deadline, but.
So what is that information again? What is it?
It's just it's not a bad information, but I see it's like it's organized. For me to organize a thing like I need to have a new doc.
Well, maybe that goes into the maybe it goes into the priorities doc, right? It lists the priorities of all of the organization. For example, invoice tabulation. Who do you think needs to know the due date for the invoice tabulation?
Yeah, like invoice tabulation due date, it's on this self-driven assigned.
Yes. Who do you think needs to know the invoice tabulation due date?
The whole of the members.
Yes, everybody. So maybe it should go on the soft hard stop priorities doc for the entire network. Put it there. We have a doc for that.
Okay.
What's up? What's going on?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll be done soon. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is just organize it. Organize the information. There's the information that's internal to the coordinator position, and then there's the information that's external to everybody in the network. If it's information that's applicable to everyone in the network, put it in the hard stop priorities doc so everyone can see it. If it's information only applicable to the hard stop, soft stop coordinator, leave it in the hard stop, soft stop coordination doc. Okay?
Okay.
It shouldn't be complicated. It should be easy, and it shouldn't be like automatic. It actually takes work. You actually have to put effort into organizing the information. It's not supposed to be done for you. That's why it's work. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I need to get going. We're already 15 minutes over. Do you want to check out real quick, or should we just go, or what?
Yeah.
You want to check out?
Yeah. Thanks for the session. I'll give it 6. I'll work on organizing the hard stop priority doc, worker coordination, and also creating the forms for the schedule.
Cool. All right, so I'll give this session a 5. Felt that it was a little excruciating and really difficult to do basic, simple organizing for the topics and the work. So the same problems that we were having with organizing the topic is exactly the same problem you were having organizing your project, your position doc. Exactly the same problem. It's just like you don't copy and paste the information, organize the information for the topic. We don't know what we're talking about. If you don't organize and the information and copy the information into your position doc, then you're not going to know what to do for your position. The same exact thing, which is why organizing is so important. Hence, creating organizations. So yeah, I'll be working on the People's Party proposals, as well as the mission within client work, and also the WCPC. I need to check in with Mel. It looks like she texted me a bunch of times. Sponsorship, and budgets, and so much more. It goes on and on and on. All right. I will talk to you soon. You take care.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.